Well, so the 2025 MLB draft is coming up next month in July. And all signs are pointing towards the Yankees going after a bat for their first pick at 39, right? They've gone heavy in the last couple of drafts for pitching. They've loaded up. Some of their top pitchers are getting promoted pretty rapidly now. Cam Schlittler to AAA yesterday. You got Ben Hess and Bryce Cunningham, who have the makings of a big, hard-throwing ace, and maybe multiple aces. Shout out to the chat. Joe Brown, what's happening, my man? So I want to profile two players today, okay? I'm going to pull them up on the screen here. Here's the first one. And again, keep in touch with this stuff. I will keep you posted on everything. So anybody in here that's not subscribed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button right now, okay? I don't want you to miss anything. If you enjoy this, hit the like button. It's always greatly appreciated. Now, first player I'm going to talk about. Let me pull him up on the screen here, okay? This is Max Bellew, okay? He's from the University of Texas. He's an outfielder. So, he's already hitting this year 303 with 9 home runs and 29 ribbies, 4 steals, 21 walks, 410 on base, 576 slugging with a 986 OPS, and he plays all 3 outfield positions. Okay, so he's got positional versatility, and this is one game. He's a very dynamic. He's an exciting player too, right? So Max Bellew from the University of Texas. He's a junior or a sophomore right now. Okay, Michael, what's happening, Michael? So he's one guy that the Yankees have their eyes on, and I'm following the mock drafts, and consistently they're coming across either an outfielder or potentially a corner infielder, who's the next guy I want to bring up for you too. And again, the corner infielder, okay, this is a third baseman who also is projected to become a first baseman. Let me pull this up on the screen for you here, okay? Where is it? All right. This right here is Andrew Fisher. Okay, let me pull it up. Let's go on the screen here. Here we go. Andrew Fisher from the University of Tennessee. Okay, SEC player. Okay, this year so far, batting 343 with 24 home runs and 64 ribbies. Okay, 41 strikeouts. He's batting 343 on base, 500. 762 slugging and a 1262 OPS. You're looking at Aaron Judge type stats. Okay. And he has 16 doubles as well with 62 walks. He walks a heck of a lot more than he strikes out. Okay. This is Andrew Fisher from the University of Tennessee. Again, part of a premier conference, the SEC, right? He's a 21-year-old junior here at the University of Tennessee. So Max Bellew for the outfield, right? And Andrew Fisher for the infield here from the University of Tennessee. University of Texas outfielder, University of Tennessee infielder. Again, Andrew's also projected to as a third baseman right now. So you're looking at an immediate replacement to somebody like DJ LeMahieu. And somebody who's already a junior at a college performing offensively at a high level is very likely to rocket up through the system, right? So, and again, he's also projected to move over to first base, which is a good thing because with Paul Goldschmidt, either playing just this year or maybe going on one-year deals, by the time Goldschmidt is done, maybe a guy like this can step into his place. And maybe they don't need to spend $200 million on a Munetaka Murakami, right? So I'm glad that they're having these types of guys in their radar. Now, I'm also hearing that they may also go for an athletic shortstop, which is no surprise, right? But all signs are pointing to them going towards the Yankees going for a bat for their first pick and not an arm. Okay. Frank, what's happening? Jonathan, my man. Tony at Q, what's going on? Medellin. Well, shout out to Medellin, man. Colombia's in the house. What's up, Tony? Shout out to Colombia. All right. So those two guys, Max Bellew and Andrew Fisher, okay, are two players that I'm going to continue to keep an eye on because they keep rotating around and they keep coming back to the Yankees circle. And the mock draft is mid-July. I think it's July 13th and July 14th, if I'm not mistaken, the actual draft itself. So we still have, upwards of 5 to 6 weeks. And this might change a little bit, right? Jake Boss is in the building. What's happening, Jake Boss? So And as this rotates, I will continue to mention prospects that the Yankees have a radar on now. But I want to, I'm seeing consistency with these two players, which is why I wanted to point them out. Okay, I've been following kind of the mock drafts over the last several weeks, and these guys keep coming up. Okay, and when guys keep coming up, they're the guys that me personally, I want to keep an eye on, and I want to let you guys know and gals know that these are the folks that are probably going to be rotating around the Yankees' radar. And again, they do represent positions of need, right? Everson Pereira could be an expendable player right now in a trade. So if the Yankees want to go for a big arm in the bullpen or something like that, they could, they could flip Everson Pereira to a team. He hasn't even started his service clock yet. Okay, 6 years of control. So I mentioned, Jake Bird from the Colorado Rockies as a potential option for the bullpen, right? Especially with Luke Weaver missing 4 to 6 weeks. That could be a good guy to get. And if you can send them Everson Pereira and maybe a pitcher, right? That might be a worthwhile package for now. I'm not saying the Rockies are going to investigate or actually do it because they're not a very well-run organization, but it makes sense for them. And could you imagine when Luke Weaver comes back and you have somebody like Jake Bird here added to what we already have? Steals. There he is. What's going on? My brother. Albert Rodriguez. So I would be surprised if Lombard takes over shortstop and Volpe moves to second. I would be surprised. But crazy things have happened. Ariel Ruiz is in the building. What's going on? So the Yankees so they were initially supposed to draft at 29, but since they're over the Cohen threshold multiple times, they had to drop 10 spots. So their first pick is going to be 39, which is the compensatory round, right? Right after the first round. So and this is part of the CBA that I think needs to be addressed. Because the teams that are routinely spending money and investing in their players should not be penalized in the draft in this way. It shouldn't be. Teams that receive all this revenue sharing, the Yankees gave out over $130 million in revenue sharing last year, right? The teams that mostly pocketed the money. Those teams that pocket the money and don't invest in their franchise to get better should be the ones that have to forfeit draft picks or lose draft picks or drop in the draft, not teams like the Yankees who routinely invest in draft picks, players, spend, and they do everything. And they're funding all these other teams, right? I could see a late season call up to AAA steals for George Lombard. I see 0% he goes to the majors this year. But that's just me. I think that's 0%. But AAA, I could see him and Spencer Jones move up to AAA, which I do hope that happens. So there's plenty. Revenue sharing gets spread out amongst teams that are on the bottom tiers, right? Have the low payrolls. The Pirates, the A's, all these types of teams. And there's no regulation, there's no, clause in there that requires them to actually spend the money on players. That's why you have some of these franchises with beautiful luxury boxes, right? But nobody's sitting in them. Right? Why? What's the point? This is the type of stuff that needs to change in the CBA. No. Yeah, I would agree, Steele. Steele's got to take their time with these. These are the two most valuable bats right now in the Yankee franchise, right? In the Yankee farm, I should say. And they need to do the right things with them. And then I would encourage them to draft another bat like one of these types of guys for the 39th pick and continue to add bats to move up through the system. We need more bats to move up through the system right now. So if you look at their top 30 prospects, I mean, we have a lot of recently drafted pitchers in the top 30. Now, I'm just going to read through this right now, okay? George Lombard 1, Spencer Jones 2, Ben Hess was drafted last year, number 3. Bryce Cunningham also drafted last year, number 4, okay? Roderick Arias, number 5. Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, a recent acquisition, 6. Chase Hampton, 7, pitcher. Brock Selvage, lefty pitcher, 8. Henry Lillane, lefty pitcher, 9. Okay, Cam Schlittler, righty pitcher, 10. So out of the top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 out of the top 10 prospects are pitchers for the Yankees. 7 out of the top 10. Okay, then you got Egleen Perez, catcher / first baseman, 11. Everson Pereira, 12, an outfielder. Manny Cedeno, shortstop, number 13. Cade Smith, Right-handed pitcher, 14. Rafael Flores, catcher first. Another catcher first baseman, 15. Gage Zeal, pitcher, 16. Carlos Lagrange, I can't pronounce it. Also pitcher, 17. Kyle Carr, another pitcher, 18. Yorbit Vivas, 19. Clayton Beater, pitcher, 20. Eric Razelman, pitcher, 21. Notice a trend here, guys? Thatcher Hurt, pitcher, 22. Tristan Veerling, pitcher, 23. Rock Riggio, second baseman, 24. Griffin Herring, lefty pitcher, 25. Brandon Maia, outfielder, 26. Francisco Valorio, outfielder, 27. Grayson Carter, pitcher, 28. Brendan Jones, outfielder, 29. And Jesus Rodriguez, catcher, third baseman, 30. Overwhelming majority of the top 30 are pitching, right? So it makes sense for the Yankees to kind of load up on high-end college bats because those are the ones that generally, for the most part, rocket up through the system. And they're not really drafting high enough in the draft to take one of these high school players like Jackson Holiday, something like that. His brother's likely going to get picked number 1 this year. So, which is crazy, but that's what the mocks are looking at. But this is what we're looking at for the Yankees' top prospects. And there are some tradable pieces here. So, and I would, look at trading some arms for a bat, trading some bats for an arm, right? And you guys let me know what your thoughts are. Mike Perez, what's going on, dude? And again, could you package a trade like Ahmed Rosario and Kyle Finnegan from the Nationals, an infielder? And I was talking, Ace Avenue, pointed out Ahmed Rosario yesterday, and he's hitting well, and he's also on the same team as Kyle Finnegan. Could the Yankees do a multiplayer trade for Rosario and Kyle Finnegan? It probably wouldn't cost a ton, but it addresses the need for a third baseman, okay, and addresses the need for another relief arm, right? And that's the type of stuff, a multiplayer trade, which could make sense for the Yankees, especially with the Yankees now. If they load up with the bullpen now, and if Luis Hill comes back and he's healthy and productive, then they may not need to add a starting pitcher. They still might do it, like a back-end starting pitcher, but I can't see them adding a Sandy Alcantara at this point or Wandy Peralta unless they move somebody like Spencer Jones. So, well, Mario, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the other arm. I mean, now there's something this morning saying that the Yankees are keeping tabs on Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer has a bruised thumb right now. He's coming off the IL. So, but he's also 40 years old. So I don't really know. I don't know, Mike Perez. I think it's going to depend on how Luis Hill performs when he comes back. Whether they need to be aggressive adding a starter, because they could load up in the bullpen instead. I mean, if you look at quietly, the Dodgers. I mean, they added some high leverage guys in the offseason. They keep making these mini moves. They added a relief pitcher yesterday. They traded for one last week, Alexis Perez. Alexis Diaz, excuse me. They've added relief pitcher after relief pitcher after relief pitcher. So if I'm the Yankees, I want to kind of counter that. And Kyle Finnegan is going to be free agent at the end of the year. I mentioned Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals, also going to be free agent at the end of the year. Also represents a good fit. And you have somebody like Mason Miller from the A's who would cost more, but he's not a free agent until 2030. So, right? Well, that's what I'm saying, Mario. Yeah. I think Jones is closer to AAA. Jones also has 10 home run yesterday too. But yeah, I mean Lombard and Jones are together right now in AA, so which is good. They can push each other. I like that. And then Cam Schlittler, the top pitcher, was promoted yesterday from AA to AAA. So he looks like he's probably the most major league ready of the Yankees pitching prospects. Him and Alan Winans. So one of those guys might get a call up if they need to. But I'm not calling up one of those guys if they're just never going to pitch. It's like I don't want to call up one of the position runners if they're never going to play. Right? Do I think Spencer Jones get moved? I don't want to move him, but if I do move him, I would prefer to move him to the National League for somebody like Freddie Peralta, because I don't want to trade him to the American League and have him punish our asses for the next decade. So, closer, like relief closer, they have relief pitcher prospects, but none of them really profile as a closer right now, as prototypical closer. And they've got guys here who can close. My guess is any closer prospects is going to be in a trade. If the Yankees add a reliever in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be in a trade. It's not going to be David Robertson. I would be shocked because he's going to need a 5 to 6 week ramp up period, and that's the whole time that Luke Weaver's gone. Right? He won't even be ready until Luke Weaver maybe comes back. If you add somebody who's active right now and performing well, here it helps offset that loss from Luke Weaver. I know Fernando Cruz is back, but he's not Luke Weaver. It's a different type of reliever. So, but to answer your question, I don't want to trade Spencer Jones, but if you do trade him, it's got to be for somebody like Freddie Peralta or something like that. I would rather trade him to the NL. Like that's just my thought process. But I hope they keep Spencer Jones because he's a very similar player than as I should say Kyle Tucker. I could see them making a splash for a closer, Mike. Just adding that reliever. And then when Luke Weaver comes back, you got Weaver, you got Loaiza, you got Devin Williams, and whoever this guy is, whoever this closer might be. That is all the makings of just a ridiculously nasty bullpen. And the way our starting pitchers are pitching right now, it's just going to give them that much more firepower in the back end of the bullpen. And if you remember, the Dodgers last year when facing them in the World Series, their bullpen was suffocating. We got to their starters, not their relievers, right? Their bullpen was suffocating. They would not give you an inch to breathe. That's what we need to do right now. We need to get one or two of these guys. You can get like a Jake Bird from the Rockies and somebody like a Finnegan or Helsley. You add those guys to the bullpen, then you have a bullpen that looks like the Dodgers. I don't want to give opposing teams an inch to breathe anywhere. Lefties or I don't care. We need to just shut these guys down. So our front office, I don't know if they're talking with him. I don't know if they're allowed to right now. I don't know if it's tampering, but because he's not posted yet. But he will be posted. But they're keeping tabs on Munetaka Murakami. They are. They're interested in him. That I know. Kendrick, for a package for Bird and McMahon, that might cost Spencer Jones. That might. I would try not to. I mean, I would go Everson Pereira and probably try to give him 2 pitchers. Right, Everson Pereira, and I would even give him Vivas or Oswald Peraza just to temporarily replace McMahon, and then I would give him Brock Selvage and another pitcher too, Kyle Carr or something like that. That's what I would do. If you can get Bird and McMahon in one package, I mean that's a better package to me than Rosario and Finnegan. But I would take either one of those packages if you can get them. No. No, this is Jake Bird. These are relief pitchers. This isn't Greg Bird. Jake Bird is nasty. Now, when the Yankees went to Colorado 2 weeks ago, and then a feed from the strike zone was that every game he confirmed it. Jake Bird was we couldn't hit the guy. He was just mowing through us. He's a righty. He's got 2 more years of arbitration after this, so he comes on the cheap, which is another good feature. So, because what do you call it? Kyle Finnegan from the Nationals and Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals have the same trait that Luke Weaver and Devin Williams have. All 4 are going to be free agents after this year. Jake Bird, no. Mason Miller, no. Can they have controllable years beyond this year? And that is going to be an important component of whoever the bullpen is going to acquire or Brian Cashman is going to acquire. I think so. The kid's very good. Jake Bird is filthy. Filthy. Kendrick. Who's Kendrick, Mike? Well, yeah, 7/31. Yeah, July 31st is the deadline. I mean, it's less than 2 months away, the trade deadline, right? It's going to come by. It's going to approach us pretty quickly. And I'm keeping tabs on everything. On that, I'm keeping tabs on the draft, too. The draft is 2 weeks before the deadline. So a lot's going to happen in July, as well as the All-Star game and everything else, too. So, but those two players I want to profile today, Andrew Fisher and Max Bellew. Okay? One of them's an infielder with serious power. One is an outfielder with versatility and power and speed. No. I'm surprised David Robertson. And at this point now, like I could see a team that wants to add a reliever for the playoff run, add him at some point because it'll be a prorated salary. But they would have to do it at some point soon because he needs a ramp up. It just doesn't fit the Yankees right now, losing Luke Weaver. We need somebody who can come in and contribute now. And David Robertson, as much as I like the guy, as much as I love his pinpoint control, he won't do that right now. He's not game ready. Finnegan is. Helsley is. Bird is. Those guys are game ready. Right? So, what are you taking? What do you guys and gals thinking? What are you hearing? And thank you for joining me, by the way. Hit the like button if you're enjoying yourself. And Beagle's in the building. What's going on, Beagle? Torrential downpour. We had some rain yesterday too. Not a torrential, but we've had some rain recently. Some decent rain. Hope you're safe, Beagle, man. Hope you're all right, man. And there's going to be, I have a feeling Brian Cashman will probably also acquire a player that none of us are thinking of. Bat, arm, something. We're like, what the fuck? I didn't really know he was available. That's what makes him Brian Cashman, because he does this type of stuff. Right? It's crazy, but you didn't really hear of Luke Weaver until he brought him on. Fernando Cruz. He traded Jose Trevino for Fernando Cruz. Ryan Yarbrough claimed off waivers from the Blue Jays. And look at these guys. These are the gems for the Yankees. He's very good at finding these gems. No. Yeah. I appreciate that, Mario. Look, man, I think one of the important things to me is that to be prepared and to know what I'm talking about. Because if I'm going to share any information with you, I want the information to be accurate. I want it to be factual. And, I want you to get a lot out of the discussions that we have, right? Because at the end of the day, it makes the channel better, it makes the content, makes the conversation better, right? And I'm not in the business of doing this clickbaity stuff. Oh, the Yankees, got all these channels saying, well, the Yankees are signing Devers. How could you sign Devers? He's not a free agent. You can't sign a guy who isn't a free agent. But this are the videos that these teams are putting out. These channels are putting out. What are you talking about? 5 mile walk. 2 out, dude. Alligators on your wall? Yeah. I got no alligators here, thank the heavens. Oh. See dogs, but no freaking alligators, man. Damn. I would walk the other way too, man. That's crazy, Beagle. Be careful, bro. Be careful. But this is why I wanted to hop on again. I wanted to profile these two players. And I want to know what your thoughts were. And again, Max Bellew from Texas, okay, and Andrew Fisher from Tennessee. And let me just show you Bellew. This is Max Bellew. Let me see if I can pull up a profile picture of him. Just so you know what the guy looks like. This is Max Bellew here from the Texas Longhorns. Okay. Outfield, Texas. And some of the profiles, 21 years old. He's 6'2", 250 pounds. He bats lefty. He throws righty. Okay. And he has an overall score of 50, which is pretty good. He hits for 55. His power is 55. He runs 50. His arm is 60. And his fielding is 50. So he's consistent across the board. And we have a 60 arm in the outfield. That's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. So, Mike Perez, Max Bellew is the outfielder that I was profiling from the University of Texas. Okay. And he's got some pretty good speed. He plays all outfield positions. And let me pull up. This is Andrew Fisher from Tennessee. This is the infielder that I was talking about. Andrew Fisher, University of Tennessee. Okay. 21-year-old third baseman who profiles. It sounds like he's going to be moving over to first base, right? He's 6'1", 210. And it looks like he's from Manasquan. He's actually from New Jersey. So got an East Coast boy here. And he's a 2025 midseason All-American, 2025 preseason All-American, all SEC. Okay. And all South region second team, all freshman team, all ACC academic team. So he's not only smart, but he's a good player too. And he puts up some stats. Max Scherzer did turn us down. Dev, what's going on, Dev? So those two guys, these are the two players I profiled today that I think would be a good for the Yankees. And they keep coming back to the Yankee circles in terms of the draft. These are the two names that I'm hearing more consistently. So any names that will come out that I'm hearing more consistently, I'll start bringing them to you too. And we will get closer. I'll even do a mock draft myself, probably for the first 5 picks for the year. It's a little too early right now to do it, but I'll give you my mock draft for the Yankees. But I do think they need to be heavier on the bats this year, especially in positions of need like outfield, corner, infield. I don't know how many shortstops we're going to get. Look at all those prospects we talked about were shortstops. So, well, Dennis, yeah. Well, that's the thing right here. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like, Nationals might deal. I'm not sure the Cardinals because they're kind of in the bubble, right? Colorado, they're just running competently, right? They are running competently, Dennis. So you make good points, but like, Bird and Halverson too, another good bullpen arm. Yeah, Bird. I like Bird because of his controllable years. He has 2 more years of arbitration beyond this season, and he throws ridiculously hard, and he can be a good get. And if somehow you can get Bird and Ryan McMahon in one trade, you try to do it. But I'll be happy with Bird. I'll give them Everson Pereira and a pitcher to get Bird. Right? That would be a worthwhile trade. Everson's blocked anyway. Right? You got Jason Dominguez, most likely Spencer Jones. You got Trent Grisham. So, and some people are pushing this trade Trent Grisham to Philly for Alec Bohm. That's being pushed this morning too, because the Phillies are ranked 25th in outfield defense or center field defense. So he's being pushed. So Halverson is pre-arb too. So you got some other pre-arb guys. Jacob Petruzzi's in the build. Demon D. What's happening, brother? Well, that's the problem, right, Grant? The Rockies should sell. I mean, the guys that I just met, like the 2 guys that I mentioned, let's just say it's Kyle Carr or Brock Selvage and Everson Pereira. That's 2 guys with 6 years of control each for a relief pitcher with only 2 years of control left. 12 years of control for 2. Rockies. Come on, guys. Right? I mean, Bohm's okay. He could use a change of scenery. I don't know if I would give up Trent Grisham for him, though. I like what Trent Grisham's doing here. So, but I do think Bohm has a good chance of being moved at the deadline. The Yankees do have pieces that they've got relief pitchers. I mean, the Phillies need a relief pitcher, too. They lost Jose Alvarado, their closer, for 80 games and the postseason. That's not going to help them at all. So you could send them relief arms, right, instead of Trent Grisham. So you could do that, too. So I'm keeping my tabs on Alec Bohm, but exactly, Graham. It is the Rockies we're talking about. Like they don't make sense. Like I feel bad for Chris Bryant, not only because he got hurt, but he's playing with a team that's not going to go anywhere. I mean, thank God he got his bag. He got his $180 million, whatever they paid him. But he's even playing? Right? New York's finest 2-on-2. What's going on? Let's go Yankees. That's right, brother. This is why, that's why I wanted to profile these 2 players, to take the frustration off the Rockies, because they just drive us nuts. They drive us freaking nuts. It's a completely nonsensical run organization. I don't know. I don't understand. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Who's that? You talking about Jarren Duran? I don't know if the Phillies would. I don't know if he would be available. And like, what would they give for Jarren Duran is a question. I mean, the Red Sox don't need Bohm. So who would they give? Who would they give them for Durant? And I don't know if he'll be made available either. He might be. The Phillies need outfield and they need relief pitching. So either the Red Sox can be a fit and the Yankees can be a fit too. And if they want to move on from Bohm, we could help them facilitate that trade. And Bohm hits from the righty side. He's got power. And maybe a change of scenery would do him some good. Right? So they have pitching prospects. Okay. Well, that's probably, yeah, I mean, do they have pitching prospects is one thing, but major league relievers is another. Like the Phillies have good pitching prospects and most likely better than the Red Sox and Yankees pitching prospects too. Phillies have a couple of top 100 MLB prospects who are pitchers. So, I mean, guy preaching to the choir, baby. Speaking my language, Jake Bird. I'm telling you, man. Speaking my language, baby. Mm-hmm. Jake Bird is a guy I would keep tabs on. I would definitely keep tabs. And if I'm Cashman, I'm trying to facilitate it and see what do you guys want. Like, how can we make this trade a reality? Like, Everson Pereira and a pitcher could be a nice package in return for Bird. With McMahon, well, you might need Spencer Jones for McMahon. But if you get a Spencer Jones, and I'm not in favor of going to Spencer Jones, I want Bird with McMahon. It's got to be that way. The controllable years for Jones alone is more than Bird and McMahon combined. So, yeah, Urena, I think the Dodgers got. Is it Jose Urena? Yeah, I think it's Jose Urena. They just keep adding because their bullpen is ravaged. I mean, their rotation's ravaged, and they keep getting bad news on Blake Snell. They just spent almost $200 million on. So I'm not surprised. And they traded for Alexis Diaz a week prior to that. Who's Edwin Diaz from the Mets' brother. He used to be a top closer for the Cincinnati Reds. Now he's a Dodger. That's what I'm saying. The Yankees would be wise to add a couple of high leverage guys right now because if they do face the Dodgers in the World Series, they got to get there. If they do, they're going to need some high leverage relievers to pass teams like the Dodgers in the American League and to get past teams like the Dodgers in the National League. These are the pieces that definitely would be a good idea for the Yankees to have. Need to fortify the bullpen, especially with Devin Williams not kind of finding his way all the way yet. So another guy here who can take the heat off that will be good. Give them another just dart throwing weapon at the back end of the bullpen. Yep. Oh, exactly, Graham. And the Red Sox are just, I don't know the Red Sox know what they're doing either. Like, I don't know. They seem to be in limbo right now. Yeah. Yeah, Fisher can field, Jonathan. And he's projected to move over to first base soon from third base. So Cindy Lauper, yeah, exactly, Mario. Exactly. Gotta get that Cindy Lauper. Girls just want to have fun, man. You gotta get her up on here, man. She was really cool in person. When I was in college in New York, I worked at a running store, and she came in and bought like $2,000 worth of running clothes. She was one of the customers that came into the store. I was her salesman. It's pretty cool. She was nice, Cindy Lauper. Yeah, I'm saying, Graham. Yeah, high-end reliever would be a good idea. Well, I'm hearing this. I'm guessing that Colorado would not move McMahon, but I'm hearing that Bird is available. So I would not try to ruffle the feathers and go for McMahon. Just give me Bird, and I'll make it a good package. I'll make it a good package. Hunter undergrad, NYU grad, Mike. NYU for business school. Yep. David D. Rob, yeah. I mean, if you can store him and do that, then they might do that. But I would still make a trade for the now also. But I would not have a problem if they brought in D. Rob. But keep in mind, whatever money they bring in right now is taxed at 110%. Did you, Mike? Nice, dude. I went there for grad, not undergrad. I went to Stern. Who the Yankees willing to give up for Bird? I mean, Everson Pereira and a pitcher, Brock Selvage or Kyle Carr, something like that. That's two guys with 6 years of control for a relief pitcher with two. Like that addresses two positions for the Rockies. So, and I don't know. I mean, I can't speak for the Yankees, but that's what I would do to get Bird. Flexing. Yeah, 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 dude. Miss Cindy. I worked at a place called Super Runner Shop on the West Side, and 78th in Amsterdam, and I met quite a few celebrities that came in and bought stuff. Cindy Lauper was just like one of the nicest ones. Nice, Mike Perez. Nice, bro. Nice. Nice. They can shift strong. Lots of thing too. Like here's the other thing too. Gary Murphy, the guy that used to own Super Runner Shop. That's right, baby. He was also the winner of the first inaugural New York City Marathon. I know him and his wife, Jane. Yeah. If they move, well, in order to move Stroman, they're going to have to give him a chance to pitch, right, and show that he can be healthy and productive. So otherwise, teams are not going to anything to do with him. They have to give him the chance to do that. Yeah. If they move whatever, if a team assumes all the salary, then that money comes off the books. If the Yankees have to eat some, that money stays in the books, and the rest of it gets assumed by the acquiring team. So it really depends on if they assume money in the trade. That's it. Yep. Gary Murphy, baby. He's brought me back, dude. Dennis brought me back, baby. And the headquarters Super Runner Shop in Huntington, in Long Island. That's it, baby. Uh-huh. Yeah. But I will be wrapping this up in a minute. I have the conference call at 11 o'clock from work for one of my companies. So give me your thoughts. I'll keep your eyes out on these two players. And I will keep tabs on them as well. And if anybody else comes up, under the radar for the Yankees, you'll know about it. One of our friends, some worked at the Huntington store. Nice. Well, you had Mike Cohane, who was a runner, was a big time runner. Worked at the West Side store. Gary Murphy and Jane came in every so often. Yeah. I wouldn't. I don't know. Thankfully, I mean, hopefully Weaver's injuries. Now we'll know more. Apparently, we're going to know more later today about the extent of Weaver's situation. So it might be, I don't know. I don't know. Well, that's the thing, Peter, because you do have Louis Hill coming back, and there's a lot of reinforcements coming back to the pen too. But I would Empire State Building, yeah. Went all the way up 100 flights of stairs. My God. Oh my, 100 stories. My legs would be jelly by the time I got to the top of that. But Gary did win the first New York City Marathon ever. That I do remember. Yeah. And Cyndi Lauper came in. She brought Rue McClanahan from the Golden Girls came in. Blanche from the Golden Girls. Betty Buckley, Broadway actress. Like a whole bunch of people. Mr. G, the weatherman, used to come in and buy his stuff there. A whole bunch of people used to buy stuff all the time. That was a cool place to work. That's a really cool place to work. And they supported people who ran. So, which is good. Really, really good. But that's what I got, gang. Okay. I want to thank you all for coming on. Smack the like button on the way out. Tell your friends about this channel too. Let's continue to grow our family. Appreciate all yours and your insights. And I hope you enjoy this as well. So again, Max Bellew and Andrew Fisher. These are the two guys, one infielder, one outfielder. That would be that are rotating around the Yankee circles right now. And Graham, to me, it looks like Devin Williams still doesn't trust his fastball, and I think he's got a ridiculous fastball. So if I'm him, I would trust him more. Mark Leiter Jr. has been a hell of a lot better than he was last year, so I like Mark Leiter Jr. So I like what we have here, but I think we could fortify it more. Can't hurt to get stronger at the bullpen too, because we're going to need it. You're going to need to shut down big offenses like the Tigers, big offenses like, the Dodgers and other teams too. So the more reinforcements we can get in that bullpen, the better off we're going to be. So have a great day, everybody. I'll be back later on with any news, tonight's lineup, and everything else. Peace and love to all of you. See y'all next time.